Hello everyone, welcome to our weekly cooking with Becky. So today we are making fudgy flourless brownies. So there is no flour in here whatsoever. What I will tell you is I do not have calorie and carb counts because this recipe is one that you can adapt many ways. You can make it the straight way, which is full sugar, full everything. You can make it low carb, which is what I'm doing. I'm making some swaps and they do walk you through that. You can make it gluten-free. They tell you how to do that. So in the link that I'm going to be giving you, they give you several different ways to make it, which means I highly recommend having a carb calculator so that you can just input your own values because everybody's gonna do it slightly different into your calculator. So let me tell you what I have already done, only because there's a lot of mixing with this beater and I don't like to do that a lot on the camera. So in this bowl, I have already taken, I was trying to sneeze, taken 4 tablespoons of all unsalted butter, 3 eggs, and whipped them very, very good. The eggs get whipped one at a time. And once the eggs are whipped, you then put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, as well as 1/4 of a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. At this time, this is what you see in here now is the salt, the vanilla, and the cocoa powder. I've already blended everything else. It says that I am to blend what you see now, the cocoa powder, the vanilla, and the salt, into the egg and butter mixture for 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm going to do that right now, and then I'm going to come back and talk about the next step. All right, let me make a clarification before I continue. I also forgot to tell you that I have my sweetener in there. So the first part was 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, or low carb alternative, gluten-free alternative, paleo alternative. It's all in the paperwork, lots of alternatives. So I have 3/4 of a cup of swerve. You could use Lecanto or Swerve, or there's some other blends out there that use the stevia. Just make sure it's a low carb replacement. I like the one that is Swerve, but it is not gluten-free. There are some that are. I just like it because it's easy to digest and it's doesn't raise your glycemic level. But I do know that a lot of gluten-free use the Lecanto, and that's fine with them. That one just gets to my stomach. But there are low-carb sweeteners. Please choose a low-carb sweetener. If you're paleo, you can use the coconut palm sugar. So like I said, lots of adaptions. So we have the butter, the sweetener, the eggs one at a time, all mixed. Then I added in the vanilla extract, the salt, and the a 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. I actually only mixed for a minute, not 2 to 3 minutes, because it's the last step that gets 2 to 3 minutes. The last step is right here. It's all creamy. This is 10 ounces of unsweetened or dark chocolate, 10 ounces of dark chocolate chopped. So what I did is I just went to the local store and I got the Bakers, the unsweetened. They come in 4-ounce packages, so that's 2.5 packages, and I put a half a packet in the freezer for the next time. I'm going to now pour this in to the bowl with all of the other goodness. And I did get the unsweetened dark chocolate because that's what it asked for. You could use milk chocolate, semi-sweet chocolate. You just want it to be the regular kind. Your sugar comes from your sweetener that you add. So I'm putting in my 10 ounces right now. Almost have it. You can use the double broiler method, or they recommended power level 7 on the microwave so that you do not burn the chocolate when melting. At this time, I will be honest, and I'll kind of show you the drizzle. Now I'm gonna go and set a timer for 3 minutes. So I've got everything mixed, and you can kind of see the drizzle of the liquid to make it just extra chocolatey. I'm gonna blend for 3 minutes. Okay, so at this time, I have everything mixed. I'm just gonna show it to you. Very, very thick. don't know if you can quite kind of tell, but very, very thick batter, and there's no flour in there. So I'm going to transfer the batter into an 8x8 pan that I have lined and greased with parchment paper. So parchment paper and some cooking spray. I'm gonna put it in there, and I'm just gonna sprinkle some of this on top. There's a recipe for making ganache, or they even mentioned just taking some chocolate chips. Once again, low carb, so I'm using the brand Lily's. Holding it upside down, Lily's. It's sweetened with stevia, so that's a good alternative. And we're keeping it low carb that way. So I don't want to make the frosting, I'm lazy. So I'm gonna sprinkle some chocolate chips, pat them in there. And then when you're going to bake them, 22 to 25 minutes. Here's the deal. You're not gonna look for a clean toothpick. You're gonna place in the center of the preheated oven. I'm just reading off this thing. It is done when the center doesn't jiggle when shaken gently from side to side. Do not overbake. So as soon as the center stops jiggling, it's done. Do not wait for a clean toothpick test, okay? So we're gonna put this in, put it in the oven, and then we will be back to show you the finished product. All right, so the brownies have been out. They've been cooling for about 15-20 minutes, and I'm going to take a bite for you in just a second. I wanted to go ahead and show you what they look like. You can see I cut myself off a little corner piece for you because they're technically still cooling. But you gotta have a warm brownie. So first, before I take my bite, I want to let you know I enjoy doing these. I hope you guys get value out of them. Please make sure you click on the name of the recipe, drop the arrow down button, and you can print the recipe. The recipe is like 8 pages long, but you don't need that. You only need like the last 3 pages. So when you go do a custom print, so you only print the recipe portion. Also, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel because I would love to have more followers all the time. The more the better, and I love sharing my tidbits with you. And if you have a social media account and or on Facebook, please go and join Living Low Carb with Becky, where I do the weekly videos, but I also put up something motivational every day and try to inspire other people, and you'll see my journey along the way. All right, here's to brownies. Those are good. You gotta make them. Have a good night, guys.